College football's almost back, baby. You know what time it is. But first, let's hit that ad. Welcome back to another edition of Prem Brulee, the number one podcast in your headphones. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. I'm your host, Premal of the Play Call Network. Without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, fam or not? First up, you knew it was dominating headlines. Sean Jay-Z Carter and his company Roc Nation partner with the NFL. So, on August 13th, the NFL announced that it was entering a partnership with Roc Nation, the entertainment company founded and led by rapper and mogul Jay-Z. The deal has reportedly been in the works for months, and it means that Roc Nation will help, quote, advise on selecting artists for major NFL performances like the Super Bowl, end quote. It also includes a social justice partnership between the company and the NFL. Roc Nation will play an important role in the NFL's recently launched Inspire Change initiative, which is a collaboration between the NFL and the Players Coalition, a group of NFL players seeking to advance social and racial justice. That Inspire Change initiative focuses on three causes in particular: education and economic advancement, police and community relations, and criminal justice reform. All good. Nothing to question there. Fantastic. However, when NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and Jay-Z were asked about Colin Kaepernick, Hove said, quote, "Everybody knows I agree with what you're saying in Kaepernick's underlying message. So what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? Help millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job." End quote. So Cap's former teammate, fellow protester and social justice advocate, and current Panther safety Eric Reid responded on Twitter, saying the following. Quote, "Jay-Z doesn't need the NFL's help to address social injustices. It was a money move for him and his music business. The NFL gets to hide behind his black face to cover up blackballing Colin." End quote. Jay-Z pushed back against those claims, arguing that Kaepernick's protest was powerful, but that, quote, "we've moved past kneeling. It's time to go into actionable items," end quote. Say what? Never thought I'd have to say you played yourself to Jay-Z, but here we are. We aren't past kneeling. Who's past it? We can't be past it. Kneeling is the foundation for all of this. It's what started this. Everything inherently branches from it. Anything to do with the NFL and any kind of move to inspire social change. Listen, I hate how Jay-Z seemingly dismissed Kaepernick, because without Cap, this isn't even a deal or a cause. He brought it to the forefront, so much so that this partnership, which, make no mistake, will make money for Roc Nation, so that this partnership can happen. My initial reaction was, yeah, fam. Yeah, that first part sounds great. Roc Nation partnering with the NFL, great move. Then I cringed at Cap's dismissal. And then they claimed that they consulted with Colin Kaepernick, only for Cap's lawyers to call bullshit. And then I was a major nah.
Listen, you son of a bitch. What the fuck's your problem?
But the thing is, the more I think about this, the more I realize that this is a major foot in the door for culture in general. As much as it sucks, you can't make change if you're not at the table. And yeah, it sucks that Jay-Z had to kind of dismiss Kaepernick a la Roger Goodell has. Goodell's always saying bullshit like, oh, any team's free to sign Kaepernick, as if he wasn't fucking blackballed by all the Trump-supporting owners. Minus maybe the Panthers owner. But here's wishful thinking that may help you get through this. How about a future where Jay-Z gets an ownership stake in the NFL and is able to have said team bring in Colin Kaepernick? So right now I'm a cautious yeah fam. I need to see what dividends this pays, and I need to see Cap be brought into this. It's too easy of an initiative not to. I don't see why you wouldn't please every side of this reform, and what would go a long way is adding Colin Kaepernick to the fold. I think it's a no-brainer. As much of a no-brainer as this partnership was for Jay-Z making money and producing change. Next up, the Ohio State University filing to trademark the. I mean, what the fuck do you think? Yeah, fam.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
Y'all want to hate us? I got news for you. We fucking love it. We eat that shit up. We eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch on weekends. Keep hating us. Everyone's mocking it. Michigan even got in on the fun. Posting a trademark of the word of. How about y'all's dumbasses figure out how to not lose 14 out of the last 15 games against your rival, and you'll have more time to file fucking trademarks? Ever think about that? That's right, sit your dumbasses down. It's the Ohio State University from now until the end of time, and the more you nitpick at it, the more we're gonna fucking say it. Newsflash.
And have fun with it.
Alright, last but not least, on Yeah Fam or Nah, the Associated Press released their preseason college football poll, their top 25. It is as follows. I will just go through the top 10. I think you number one podcast listeners are fully capable of looking this up, but we have Clemson at number 1, Alabama at 2. The top 5 is rounded out by Georgia, Oklahoma, and the Ohio State at number 5.
What it do, baby?
LSU came in at number 6, Michigan at 7, Florida at 8, Notre Dame at 9, and Texas at 10. From a quick glance, it appears that there are 6 SEC schools, 7 Big Ten schools,
What it do, baby?
2 ACC schools, 3 Big 12 schools, and 5 Pac-12 schools. If you're doing the math, the other 2 teams in the top 25 are made up by former national champion UCF Golden Knights and Notre Dame's no conference having bitch ass.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
Listen, I'm a nod to this. How the hell is Clemson not going to get into the college football playoff with the sorry-ass ACC? The only other top 25 team is Syracuse at 22. The Big 12 also seems most like it'll be between OU and Texas. Oklahoma, if you remember, is number 4, and Texas came in at number 10. Also worth noting, I mentioned Pac-12 has 5 teams in the top 25. Well, all 5 of them are outside the top 10. With all that being said, overall, these polls are made for us people behind mics and keyboards to eat that shit up. But I'm still not. They're just so worthless. They don't really tell us anything other than who we think should be good, and it's usually named programs. And since 2011, at least one top 10 team has finished outside the top 25 at the end of the season. But more on that later. Alright, we're on to likey, no likey, hate it. My likey goes to HBO doing a college version of Hard Knocks with the perfect team and the perfect coach. More specifically, perfect coach. They're going to feature Washington State and head coach Mike Leach. Should be very intriguing. Smart move by Leach and those West Coast teams to get people invested in their teams. One of the things the Pac-12 deals with is such late games. They've even floated doing noon games Eastern time, so 9 o'clock local for some of those Pac-12 teams, just because they don't get a lot of views. But this is a good way to get exposure and draw attention to how freaking hilarious Mike Leach is. My no likey goes to Russian billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov officially agreeing to sell his remaining stake in the Brooklyn Nets and hand over full ownership of Barclays Center to Joe Tsai. This came in an announcement by the team. Damn, no more Mikhail. Tsai, who paid $1 billion for a 49% share of the Nets in 2018, is paying an additional $1.35 billion for the remaining 51%. In addition, he will pay nearly $1 billion in a separate deal for Barclays Center. That total of $2.35 billion passes the largest acquisition of a franchise Assuming it gets approved, it passes the recent Carolina Panthers acquisition. Joe.
What it do, baby?
This was from Brian Windhorse. I'll miss Mikhail Prokhorov. Some great memories. Telling 60 Minutes he couldn't remember where he left his yacht. Canceling a meeting with Mello on TV. Waiting days to fire Avery Johnson so that he keeps skiing. And saying that if he didn't win a title in 5 years, he'd get married as punishment. We're going to miss him. Cue that I Will Remember You, man.
I will remember you.
My hate it goes to Boogie Cousins tearing his ACL in a workout recently. This man was due for a huge contract after being in New Orleans. He tore his Achilles a couple years ago. Then he ring chased with the Snakes of Oakland.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
Injured himself again. He worked his way back, only for that team to lose in the finals. Then he gets recruited to the Lakers on another one-year deal, only to have this happen. It's a rough 3 years, man. Alright, you had to know this was coming after what happened. So, the Cowboys won their second preseason game against the Rams in Hawaii. All well and good. Who gives a shit? It's preseason. Well, their rookie, who we think backup running back, Tony Pollard, had a great game. Rushed for 42 yards and a touchdown. And prompted Jerry Jones, jokingly after the game, saying, Zeke who?
And have fun with it.
Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me at this point. This man is intentionally trying to upset Cowboys fans. This is the only way to put it. He clearly doesn't give a fucking shit about winning, because he wouldn't do stupid shit like this. Zeke's agent told ESPN's Chris Mortensen that, quote, I didn't think it was funny, and neither did Zeke. We actually thought it was disrespectful, end quote. You fucking think, Jerry? Do you fucking think that maybe your guy that's holding out for a new contract wouldn't like you saying Zeke who when you fucking need him? Do you maybe think that it might not be the wisest move even from a business standpoint, since that's all you clearly fucking care about? It's not football. Don't tell me you give a shit about Super Bowls while Zeke is in fucking Mexico training instead of in your training camp, all because you can't agree to a fucking contract. Oh yeah, but Dak and Amari need new contracts too. Oh yeah. Oh, so where are their signatures? Have you gotten any one of those fucking things done? No? Or you just want to hear yourself fucking talk with the press, huh? What the fuck is he exactly doing? Besides acting like a goddamn imbecile. Zeke, who? Give me a fucking break, man. Your team is capable of so much. And literally the only way you can mess it up is how you're finding ways to. Jerry Jones is going to torment Cowboys fans forever. I'm convinced he's immortal. And in turn, he brings extra stress upon others, shortening their lives because of his stupidity. What a fucking world we live in. Zeke who? I wish I could fucking say Jerry who. Piece of shit. Alright, Joker, here we go.
Here we go.
It's time for You Played Yourself. And first up, You Played Yourself goes to Sports Illustrated. They released their top 10 for best traditions in college football. I'll go from 10 to 1. Number 10, Miami's turnover chain. Number 9, the Army-Navy games marching in of the teams. At 8 is Mississippi State's cowbells.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Coming in at 7 is Country Roads for West Virginia. Number 6 is Texas A&M's 12th Man. Auburn's Toomer's Corner is at 5. Ralphie's Run is at 4 for Colorado. Dotting the I at Ohio State is at 3. Kawhi, I'll let you take that. 2 is Howard's Rock, Clemson. And 1 is the Sooner Schooner at Oklahoma. Okay, so we already had Kawhi take care of fucking Dotting the I at number 3. You must have played yourself. No, Iowa's waving at the Children's Hospital patients. Or what about Wisconsin's Jump Around? Virginia Tech's Enter Sandman? I mean, we're missing shit here. Like, I know Mississippi State has all the cowbells and, everybody and their mom loves Country Roads at West Virginia, but the ones I brought up are iconic. You see clips of those. I'm yet to see a clip of the fans sing Country Roads at West Virginia. You played yourself, SI. Next up on You Played Yourself, the Chicago Cubs have blown 10 saves since the All-Star break. Yikes. In a tight race for the NL Central. Y'all are really out here playing yourselves. You better hope Craig Kimbrell has his stuff coming off the injured list. Over to college football. Tate Martell, quarterback at Miami, Florida. Tate Martell transferred from Ohio State this year to compete for the starting quarterback job at Miami. He was granted immediate eligibility too. The only problem is he lost the job to Jaron Williams. So Martell transferred after Ohio State got a transfer of their own in Justin Fields, who, by the way, was named starter of the Buckeyes coming into this season officially. So Martell talked a lot of shit. You probably remember from You Played Yourself then. He claimed he'd win the job and then proceeded to hit the transfer portal. He has reportedly been tried out at wide receiver now, so if that was his decision to be bigger like that and willing to switch, good on him. But still, sound it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
You played yourself. I'd rather be a backup at Ohio State versus the U. That's for goddamn sure. Heck, Martell at Miami's even fighting to be the backup quarterback, competing with N'Kosi Perry. You played yourself, Tate. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener. Last but not least, you thought Antonio Brown was done last week, huh? So, Antonio Brown left training camp again on a Sunday, a day after their preseason game, in which he took part in warm-ups but did not play in the game. Brown left, and according to Raiders GM Mike Mayock, it was over the receiver's anger from being denied use of his helmet. Mayock said, quote, "Here's the bottom line. He's upset about the helmet issue. We have supported that. We appreciate that. But at this point, we've pretty much exhausted all avenues of relief. So from our perspective, it's time for him to be all in or all out, okay? So we're hoping he's back soon. We've got 89 guys busting their tails. We're really excited about where this franchise is going, and we hope AB is going to be a big part of it, starting week 1 against Denver. End of story, no questions, okay? Just wanted you guys to know where we were. Fair?" End quote. FYI. This interview was tweeted by the Raiders' official Twitter account. All these official accounts usually do is gas up fans and post positive shit even when their team's fucking garbage. So that means the Raiders are so fed up with this shit, they actually put something on their feed other than a frou-frou just win baby post.
And have fun with it.
Also, Mike Mayock kind of played himself with the whole all in or all out, 89 other players spiel, and then followed it up by saying, "Hope he shows up by week 1. Sick. Sick precedent. Brown's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, responded to Mayock's comments later that same day, saying, quote, "There's no doubt it's still an ongoing process." He told this to South Florida 7 Sports Extra. "We are trying to work with the team in the league and the union to come up with a solution. We haven't figured it out yet. To say that AB is upset about the decision to not let him wear his helmet is accurate, but we're still processing it and figuring it out. I wouldn't make too much about him not being there today, as much as we're still trying to come up with a solution that works for everyone." End quote. Rosenhaus said that they were testing additional helmets as a reason for why Brown wasn't at practice. So the only time you can test them happens to be in the window where he was supposed to be at practice. There's no additional hours in the day, right?
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
I mean, we're talking about the guy who arranged at dawn to fly in a hot air balloon to show up to camp. Which is, by the way, one of his few days he actually has shown up. Ooh, spicy. Is it so hard to just show up to your team's practice? Practice, by the way, where they probably wouldn't have you do too much anyway. Oh, and we're not even talking about the fact that this is a brand new fucking team for Brown. One where he's got to build camaraderie, learn the playbook, all that stuff. And he's over here dilly-dallying and crying about a fucking helmet. Rosenhaus also stated that it was a safety issue.
What the fuck's your problem?
citing that the helmet Brown's used has kept him safe for his entire career. Well, Drew, here's the fucking thing, though. Just like I said last week, it is a safety issue, and that's why the NFL and NFLPA have rules to have current helmet technology on players to protect them and achieve better safety. You saying it's a safety issue, ignoring that it's a 10-year-old helmet, is ridiculous. And it's a 10-year-old helmet that you had plenty of warning to prep for its discontinued use. And they grandfathered in a year, so you knew it was coming up on the last one. It's like someone saying, but asbestos is fire retardant. It's a fucking health hazard. Who gives a fuck about a non-existent fire? AB, your helmet is not safe. They gave you warning. You got grandfathered in last year. You filed a grievance. You lost. Get fucking over it. What are we still talking about here? Fucking do your job. Show up to practice. Stop being selfish. Enough. Your helmet's asbestos. It's a health hazard. Get with the fucking times. We don't have asbestos in houses anymore. You don't have your helmet. They are both facts.
What it do, baby?
I know his agent's just doing his job, but what are we doing here at this point? Now, no matter what you do, there's no other way to spin this other than AB is selfish. And then AB showed up to practice the following day, and it was news. Adam Schefter tweeted, Antonio Brown's at practice. Could you fucking imagine it being news that you showed up for your job? Breaking news. Premal Bot showed up to record this podcast. Oh, fuck out of here. You played yourself, Antonio Brown. You keep playing yourself. We got 2 weeks in a row. We'll see if you can make it 3. Anyway, let's move on to who you got and what you feeling. And last week, continued little fantasy football picks, and I went over fantasy football busts by position. Just a little recap. QB, I had Sam Darnold listed. At running back, I had Lamar Miller, Melvin Gordon, and the many Broncos running backs. Wide receiver, I was weary of Sammy Watkins in Kansas City. And at tight end, I went with Eric Ebron and David Njoku, saying that someone's got to see less touches in Cleveland. There's only one football. This week, wanted to talk a little bit about fantasy football breakouts. Covered the 3 main topics. Got sleepers 2 episodes ago, busts last episode, and now breakouts. And just like before, go by position. This one's an easy one at quarterback, kind of low-hanging fruit, so I apologize. But Baker Mayfield has to be a breakout this year. He did so well in limited time. He has even more weapons now. At running back, I have a couple of rookies. Also, a couple popular ones, Josh Jacobs in Oakland and David Montgomery in Chicago. I am buying the hype for both. Wide receiver went a little outside the box. Now, Chris Godwin in San Francisco isn't too outside the box, but depending on how you think they'll do, maybe he is. And the other I have listed is Curtis Samuel in Carolina. I think he's poised to finally step up. And put it this way, if the Panthers don't figure out how to use him this year, they're never going to. At tight end, I have rookie TJ Hawkinson in Detroit. Could be very wrong. Historically, Matthew Stafford, no likey tight ends, but they used their first-round pick on Hawkinson, so yes, I realize they also used one on Eric Ebron. I'm sorry, Pro Bowl tight end Eric Ebron, but Hawkinson should have some versatility. He's a good blocker, and he should be able to spill out and get some receptions. The other tight end I have listed is Vance McDonald. Should fare pretty well. And for defensive kicker, stop it already. You know the drill. No breakouts, just draft these fucking positions last. And a little bonus one. I promised you I'd get back to this. With the interesting note that since 2011, at least one top 10 team has finished outside the top 25 by the end of the season. I wanted to pick who I think that team in the top 10 might be, who would fall out of the top 25 when this season's all said and done. So as a recap, in order from 1 to 10, we had Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, The Ohio State University, LSU, Michigan, Florida, Notre Dame, and Texas. So I'll give you 2 teams to potentially look out for that may not live up to the hype. And they are at 8 and 9. So I'm going with Florida and Notre Dame as my 2 picks that could potentially disappoint based on their preseason rankings. Florida, obviously being in the SEC, may not bode well for them. And worth mentioning, we will get our taste of Florida right away. And returning quarterback Felipe Franks. He is now a junior, so they do have some experience on a young team that bode pretty well. But they play Miami in the opening game of the season. So we'll get an idea how right or wrong I am. The other team I have is Notre Dame. Pretty much has to play flawless. They do have Georgia on their schedule and Michigan. So, again, we'll find out how legit they are with especially those 2 games. And with how the college football playoff went last year for them, they definitely have to show out. But I'm sticking with my guns. I say the 2 most likely to finish out of the top 10 or out of the top 25 are Florida and Notre Dame. As for what I'm feeling, definitely feeling getting to spend the weekend at the lake with some really close friends. Shout out the Good Nights. And also, music-wise, really feeling Young Thug's new album so much fun. It is full of bangers. And for my too much sense, the advice you didn't think you needed, but I'm going to give you anyway. My advice this week is to appreciate those around you. You know, people never get the flowers while they can still smell them. So make sure you are outward with how you feel about someone. They deserve to hear it. Tell someone you miss them. Tell someone how great of a friend they are. Tell someone you love them. It's sad to think about, but you never want to miss out on the chance to tell someone how you feel about them. And that's my too much sense for this week. And that's also the end of this episode of the number 1 podcast in your headphones. This has been another edition of Prem Brulee. You know me. I'm your host, Premal. You know the drill. Please rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Appreciate any and all suggestions, critiques. And as always, I appreciate you. Please be sure to check out the other Play Call Network podcasts. And we'll talk to you next time.